Oye, savoir, we love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In this bulletin, police officers encouraged to continue great work. Mental issue fight faces challenges. And Lao women fight COVID-19 impact.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
President Major General retired Chochi Conrote has encouraged the Fiji police force to remain steadfast in its work, especially in the midst of COVID-19. Speaking at the Fiji Police Force's 50th commemorative ceremony, the head of state highlighted that the work of the disciplined forces often goes unrecognized. Addressing senior officers from around Fiji, the president has called for more attention to the safety of children. Some people
through kids not being supervised, they either come across big elections or they drown. So please look after the young ones.
Some people in Fiji have a mindset that a person with a mental illness is dangerous. Medical Superintendent for St. Giles Hospital, Dr. Kiran Gaikwad, says this fear persists in the community and leads to stigmatization. Dr. Gaikwad adds there are those who need to change their attitude and be more accepting of persons diagnosed with mental illnesses. He adds family support is also vital for treatment.
So I will ask the families and loved ones, please do not take this as a curse to your family. This is an illness which can be treated, and if person taking medication and treatment, he will remain as normal as others.
The COVID-19 pandemic has affected the sale of tapa, handicrafts and copra from various women's groups and entrepreneurs in the Lao province. Voto Women Association President Taringudi Penny says in the pre-COVID period, they were earning on average over $1,000 a month from sales to local and international buyers. Penny adds this form of business has assisted most Watoa villagers over the years before things came to a standstill during the lockdown period.
We rely on the sale of mats, woven baskets and fish for our daily sustenance. We normally send our ordered items once a month, and that's the time we also stock our monthly necessities. We also felt the impact of the pandemic as sale was affected due to social gathering restrictions.
The Fisheries Ministry is aware of the recent cases of malolo poisoning in Vanolevu, which are believed to have claimed one life. Fisheries Minister Semi Koroi-Labisau says sea worms on malolo are handled and consumed before sunrise. But once poorly handled, the worms melt, and if consumed, this may be the reason behind an increase in toxicity. Koroi-Labisau says another reason why individuals are affected is when there has been history of fish poisoning.
This is quite unusual, very unusual. Getting poison from malolo have not been heard of. This is the first time I have heard of it. So I think it is an apparent lack of preservation of the malolo itself. Maybe they had it in stock uncooked for a longer period of time, and deterioration of the malolo itself could cause poisons.
Fiji Airways is giving Fijians a chance to return to the skies and experience the joy of flight again this Saturday aboard its brand new A350 aircraft. The airline's travel-ready flight, FJ679, will depart Nadi International Airport and spend over 2 hours in the skies above Fiji before returning. The airline will also use the flight to prepare staff and guests on changes to expect when commercial flying resumes once border restrictions ease. The airline says flying has changed since the beginning of this year, and the Travel Ready program is designed for air travel in a COVID-19 world. The airline has put numerous precautions and medical safeguards in place to protect customers and staff alike. U.S. drug maker Moderna says its experimental vaccine is 94.5% effective in preventing COVID-19 based on interim data from a late-stage trial. The company says its results have so far exceeded expectations. Here's more.
Fresh hopes for an effective vaccine on Monday. Moderna says its experimental shot is 94.5% effective in preventing COVID-19. That's based on interim data from a late-stage clinical trial. It makes it the second US company to report results that far exceed expectations. Together with the Pfizer vaccine and pending more safety data and regulatory review, the US could have 2 vaccines authorized for emergency use by December. A key advantage of Moderna's vaccine is that it does not need ultra-cold storage like Pfizer's, making it easier to distribute. Production of the Moderna shots will partially be carried out by Swiss biotechnology firm Lonza at plants in the US and Switzerland. The news sent Moderna shares up around 17%. Also on Monday, Russia said it expects to produce primarily freeze-dried Sputnik V coronavirus vaccine doses by the spring. That would eliminate the need for transport at ultra-low temperatures. Russia has an ambitious plan to inoculate its population, but vaccine developers globally are scrambling to work out how to ship and store their vials, some of which must be kept in specialised freezers at extremely low temperatures. The logistical challenge was brought into sharp focus after promising interim trial data for the vaccine developed by BioNTech and Pfizer. It's been considered a major breakthrough in the race to curb the pandemic, but it needs to be shipped and stored at -70 degrees Celsius, equivalent to an Antarctic winter. That poses a challenge for even the most sophisticated hospitals. For the moment, it also puts it out of reach for many poorer countries.
Up ahead, World Cup spots up for grabs. And holistic approach for netball Fiji.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Fiji Under-15's head coach Senirusi Servakula will select 30 players next week to prepare for the 2021 Rugby World Cup in New Zealand. Following the Tens tournament yesterday, the selectors named 4 teams to represent their respective regions in the National Championship next week in Tavua. From the championship, Servakula will identify players to form 2 teams as the core of the national squad for the World Cup.
So our first camp is on the 24th and 25th, and then our second camp on the 8th and 9th of December. So by January next year, I'll have all the players that have talent idea and that have put their hands up for selection before the overseas players are starting to arrive around June.
Netball Fiji believes they've selected the best 25 players to prepare for the World Championship. When the season started in March, selectors were looking for holistic netballers. Following the conclusion of the Digicel Punja's Reset Championship over the weekend, Netball Fiji is confident the players selected are the best. However, the squad will be trimmed later before the final team is announced.
So we've just been driving home the notion of a holistic athlete. So somebody that's doing well at school, at work, at home with their families, and then can come to netball and still produce results for us. And I think that's just been the aim of this whole competition, and our selectors, our panel was asked to focus on those areas.
Sport has not been spared by COVID-19 all around the world. However, it is now being said the COVID-19 transmission risk is very low in elite sports events, says a UK doctor. Expect the warm, humid weather to continue with brief showers and possible isolated afternoon or evening thunderstorms over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. That's FBC News Now. Join us again at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. You need news you can trust. Get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj, keeping Fijians connected with the truth. Thank you for your time and good afternoon.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.